Thanks for joining us for another BattleFly, where we're going to go through and outfit a BattleFly and give it the best mods that we can. Today, we're actually streaming on the Treasure Discord server, and I have X from Treasure with me, and we're going to be building X a fly, hopefully with some new Lost Silo expansion mods. Thanks for joining me, X.
Thanks for having me. It's really exciting. I'm keen to see what we come up with.
Cool. And I know Ben is also on this call, official Avenger. I don't know if he'll be jumping in, but if you hear another voice, it will be Ben. Cool. So, X, is there anything you're looking for today besides maybe some of these new Lost Silo expansion mods?
I guess getting a little bit up to date on what the current strategies are. I know they're changing all of the time.
That's true.
Let's just have a look and see what we come up with. What little tips you can throw my way.
Cool. Yeah. And the strategy is definitely different here in season 2. I don't know how much everyone's aware, but we actually, if you see this little toggle at the top here, we have something new called the XP track. And this is now the new way you're going to get traits. Traits used to be assigned just by BattleFly rarity. Now BattleFlies with more rarities get better options on their traits. They get more choices and some extra free mod packs. But now you'll see over here at level 4, we have traits that we can redeem. So we're not going to quite get there today because you need to battle to earn your traits. But we're going to be starting out with a common fly, as we always do. But normally a common fly means that there's going to be no traits applied. But with the new season, every BattleFly is going to get 6 traits if they complete their way all the way down to the XP track till level 24 here. And so, yeah, that means that we can talk a little bit as we go about some of the strategy around building with traits, because there are traits that give bonuses for specific types of damage and specific strategies like extra shields or extra armor. So might be something that comes into play here, but it is usually going to be mostly about the mods. So, but that is something a little different we'll have to think about.
Awesome.
All right, so we have Atlantis Oriana here, staked into the game. This is a brand new fly. No wins, no losses, fresh out the gate. And as always, X, the first thing we're going to start out by doing before we even think about what mods we want to scavenge is we want to apply some Hunter's Marks. Do you use your Hunter's Marks, X, when you're scavenging?
Yeah, I usually do. Generally, throw at least a bronze on, if not a silver.
Yeah, definitely you want to at least do the bronze. It's pretty cheap right now, just 75 nectar. We have the nectar, so we're going to go for gold because we're trying to look for something really exciting here today. But yeah, these are going to give you a better chance of finding those rare mods. And like X said, throwing at least a bronze on. You kind of got to if you're going to be opening some packs. So we're going to take the gold. And
it's quite a significant change in the chances.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it goes from, even just rares goes 5, 10 to 15%. It increases it by that much too. So I think at the legendary, it like pretty much triples or 4x's your chances of finding or something like that. It's at least a double. It's a pretty substantial increase. All right, and then. So if anyone's watched our Build the Flies with Jean's strategy, and it seems to work out pretty well for us, is we always want to try to build out our utility slot first. And now if we see some good weapons, we'll take them. If we see a really good defense, like a shield or booster thrusters or an armor, we'll definitely take it. But we want to be searching for utility. So our utilities are usually found in ammunition, Black Project. These are the 2 main places that you're going to find them. Ammunition is going to modify your attacks in some way, and Black Project is going to be sort of like a whole kind of thematic build around. So what do you want to start with here, X? Ammunition or Black Project are probably our 2 strongest choices. What are you feeling?
I'm a bit of a sucker for Black Project just because I like the name.
It is a good name. It's definitely a spicier name than Ammunition. It's like Ammunition, I know what that does. Black Project, bit of intrigue, a little mystery there.
I mean, ammunition's in every movie, but Black Project, you're looking at the sci-fi or spies or something.
Yeah, absolutely right. This could be any old war movie, but this one takes place in some underground bunker in a lost silo, perhaps.
Exactly.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and buy this Hunter's Mark. This is going to increase our chance of getting those Black Project mods. So those are equipped. And take a quick look. We just have some basic core mods here equipped. We're going to look to replace all of these today. Normally we open up 5 packs and we see the best combination that we can build with 5. And we're looking for 2 weapons, 1 defense, and 1 utility. And like I mentioned, going for that utility first. So are you ready to jump into it, X?
Let's go.
All right, cool. So we have to remember that we have our Black Project Hunter's Mark equipped, which means that we want to be scavenging where we have the best chance of finding those Black Project mods, which you can see is in the Arctic Research HQ, a common place where we start out. We're going to go ahead and get scavenging into here.
It matches the weather where I am at the moment, so that's good.
Is it cold by you?
Yeah, it's been a bit cold.
That's funny. Here where I am, we're in a heat wave, so got the opposite problem. We can trade half of our weather, and maybe we'll be good. Okay, so we do see one of the new mods actually at Rare, and this is the self-replicating Durantium 3. A mouthful on that one. But this is a Rare Black Project mod, so this is kind of the general theme we're looking for here. And I'll read this one. It's armor cannot be destroyed or ignored, and it adds 4x your total armor to max HP. So
that sounds pretty powerful.
It is pretty powerful, and it's one of those things. So obviously you want to pair this with something that has high armor, right? It's pretty self-explanatory. As we talked about the Black Project mods, they give you that direction that you want to take, right? They're a build around me. And, you know, we're not going to get into applying traits today just because our BattleFly is not going to be leveled up enough. But there are traits that give you additional armor. There's at least one that gives you an armor bonus. So that would be the kind of thing you'd want to build around this. Now, X, this is going to be your BattleFly, so I have to always ask. I'm going to leave the greed level up to you. We're on our first opening, our first pack. Are we re-rolling here, or do we want to try this build around?
Yeah, I'm greedy. This is that's only blue.
Greedy. I like it. I do think there's a value with all these marks equipped to being a little bit greedy at the start. We've seen us get punished for it in these once in a while, but usually it pays off. All right, so and these are 2, you know, just not super exciting mods. We won't get into the commons and uncommons unless they're from the new set. So we're re-rolling here.
Reroll.
Yep, re-rolled it. Okay, so we end up with a couple more rares, and we see a few more new mods. So the Quicksilver boosters would be the more interesting one to take here for sure. And this gives you a 20% chance to reflect negative effects and viruses back to the opponent. It gives you 5 armor and 7 evasion. One thing we've added with this new set is more defense cards, mods, that give evasion. We only had 1 in the first set. But this, to me, is more of a sort of, you know, metagame play, right? Like, if you see a lot of viruses going around in the metagame, like from the I Love You 2 probes and those kind of things, that's when we'd want to take this. So I don't think we're taking this one. I'm curious, actually, what do you think about this live circuit? It says 60% of HP are converted to shields, and your HP regen is converted to shield regen. So you're moving all your HP to shields. How do you feel about something like that? You know, we're not going to take it at common, but...
Oh, that's interesting. That's a tricky one, because then if you get something that bypasses shields, then toast, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Those shields can be pretty strong and hold out for quite a long time.
Yeah, it's definitely bad against, like, the radiation effects that bypass shields. But, so the legendary version of this converts all of your HP except for 1 HP into shield. So you end up with a starting shield of... 599 and double shield regen if you boost your HP regen and your shield regen. So it's quite the spicy one.
But then against the red effect, you'd be one shot.
Yep. It's a big gamble there. Yep.
Wow. I like it.
All right. So
I like the idea. We're not going to take it.
Yeah, we're not going to take it. We're definitely not taking it at common with 4 rerolls left. Are we still feeling greedy here? I mean, nothing here excites me, but it's up to you on the final call there.
Absolutely, we're feeling greedy.
All right, re-roll. Okay,
Here we go.
So we see two new mods. The Leroy chip is from the previous expansion. It is good. We might consider taking it. So we see a shrinking ray here. We have a new way to win the game, X. I don't know if you know about this one, but you can now shrink your opponent to death. And your opponent, Battleflies now have a stat called size. You start out at 100% of your size, and the shrinking rays are going to shrink down your size by 10% of their maximum. So 10 down to 90, to 80, 70, and so on. So 10 hits. And you're going to decrease their damage as you shrink them because they're getting smaller, and it increases their evasion because they're getting smaller. So
they're getting smaller.
Yep. So they get harder to hit and weaker, and you're shrinking them down until they disappear out of existence. So if we see that one, think about the shrink rays. They're really good, but you need both of them. You need to shrink them twice as fast. So,
right.
But there is a new way to win.
Tell me the legendary is called Honey, I Shrunk the Fly.
I believe the legendary is called the Petite Pulverizer. So it does have a bit of a cute name, but I do like your name, Honey, I Shrunk the Flies. I'll have to consult with John on a rename for that one.
Alrighty.
Yep. And then we have just
the Leroy chip.
Yep, the Leroy chip. So this one is a critical sort of bonus. This would be a critical build around. Every time you attack, you're going to increase your crit chance and your crit damage up to 12% and 90% critical damage. So it's pretty good. We'd probably be looking for something like missiles or high damage weapons to go with this, so that or other ways to increase our crits. There are weapons that have increased crit chance to make best use of this. So this one, I've seen this around on the leaderboards. So what are you thinking here, X? Do you want to take this chip and try for the upgrade, or do you want to keep going?
I want to keep going.
You want to keep going? All right, okay.
I've used Leroy before, so.
I see. So we're looking for something spicy. I understand. All right, we are going to keep re-rolling. Then this is X's fly, and X decides how greedy we are. We are obviously. You never re-roll an epic and get something better. Yeah. All right, so nothing super exciting here. We still have a few of the graphics that we need to get the exact graphic correct on here, but. So we do have some new mods here. We don't need to necessarily go into them, but these are just some. We have a new weapon here. We kind of saw the uncommon version before, and we have this have been good with the Leroy chip, the critical hit chance. But I guess it's also a utility. So worth noting here, one other minor theme in the Lost Silo set is that we're caring about other rarities. So you can see that this is a common weapon that gets more burst for every rare mod equipped. So sometimes some players now, I've seen them running the legendary version of this, which has that same ability, and they'll have a rare shield because it gives them an extra 2 burst on each gun. So another theme we have going on with Lost Silo.
Yeah, that's an interesting mechanic, actually.
Yeah, we're looking at ways of like incentivizing. Right now it's just run all legendaries is the best flies, and it's like, well, how do we get people to run commons and rares without you need to give them incentive. So this is one of our first attempts at that. I'm assuming you want nothing from this one.
No, let's carry on.
All right. Okay, so we do see the rare shrinking mod, and we see one of our new shields, which adds this effect here. It adds 50 temporary shields against the next attack every 4.5 seconds. So this one, the longer the battle goes, the more chances you get to get these shields that are going to last against the next full attack, not just a burst. So are we going to that last? We have one roll left. Are we going into now? Remember, we do get 5 packs. So if this pack is a dud, we still have a chance to build out a complete BattleFly, or we could try for a shrinking ray build.
We're rolling again.
Okay.
Let's go. Come on.
Oof.
Oh.
Well. This isn't great.
That's why you take the Leroy chip.
That's why you take the Leroy chip. We have the worst version of the armor we spoke about before. EMP ammo is another new mod. It does a similar effect to the EMP weapon, where you're going to pause their weapon reloads and their shield regen for 5% of the weapon that you attacked with reload. speed. So if it's a 10-second reload speed, you're going to pause for half a second. But yeah, so what do you want to take out of this? We'll try for an upgrade reroll, of course, but we are taking something from this pile.
Like the self-replicating Urantium.
All
Try
right.
that. We had a 3 earlier on, but we'll see what we can do with this one.
All right, let's try upgrading that rarity. Always try for rarity upgrade. Didn't get that. Okay. So yeah, never lucky. Pass on the epic, get punished. That's how it goes sometimes. So we're gonna go ahead and keep this, and we're just gonna put an empty slot. So we have a potential build around with an armor. So if we see a really strong armor, there's a world where we actually run this. It's obviously not super exciting, but it's not so bad. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just equip that so we know that we have it. Now, I guess here's the question for you, X. Do you want to build around this armor theme, or do you want to try, while we have this Hunter's Mark equipped in Black Project, digging in the Black Project some more?
Yeah, definitely do. Having the armor is a little more passive, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like things that explode a lot.
Okay, so we'll go digging in Black Project for some new stuff?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, on the plus side, we did get a new mod, so we did reach one of our goals, even if we don't, even if it's not the most exciting rarity level. All right, so going back to the Arctic HQ here, and we'll see if we can get something a little punchier. It's not this. It's not this.
So this getting them out of the way early. Then.
Yep. These we don't get to see these anymore. Another crit theme here with one of the new mods. So we'll re-roll this, of course. Okay. Couple more commons. We do see one rare here, the Promethium Battery, which gives you sort of an extra spread of shield here. Good. Kind of the exact opposite direction of the armor one we just picked up, which gives you sort of a boost for every armor that you have equipped. This is
that's
extra regen to shields. I'm assuming based on your previous rerolls, we're a little too early for you to take this rare.
Oh yeah, definitely, and it's working against the one thing that we do have as well. So we either get something new or something that fits.
Right. All right. Well, none of these are those. I mean, this isn't armor, but we're not taking it. So I think we're gonna keep re-rolling here.
Absolutely.
Okay. We do see some rares. We got missiles. We have another utility that is an evasion-based one that boosts energy damage, and we have a perfectly fine shield. It is perfectly fine. It's fine. It's there.
It's just fine.
It's fine. So we still have 2 rerolls left.
This is when it gets tough.
This is when it gets tough. This is when you gotta start making those decisions on, am I willing now to run if I see only uncommons or commons? Which we're still likely to see a rare in the next two opens here, given that we have that gold mark equipped.
Oh, I'm going to roll again.
All right. Okay, so we do see another rare. It's the sealed box, which is actually an ammunition mod from the other option we could have taken. So this one gives us +5 armor. Unfortunately, we can't run both this and our current equipped mod because they occupy the same slot.
But the utility ones.
Yep. It has a chance to resist freeze and EMP effects. So, again, one of those sort of counterplays to the metagame. And then we see just a worse version of the shield we just saw. So now we're really down to the wire here.
Really got to pick whether those are the specific attacks that you want to resist at the moment, though.
Yep.
Whereas the other ones are much more generalist.
Yes, I think that honestly, this is probably overall better than this, unless we're trying to counter a certain metagame, just because we can build around this one.
Yeah.
So to me, this is a reroll still, and we just kind of really hope on the last one.
I agree.
All right. Okay, we see some uncommon weapons. We are probably not going to take this one. This lets your BattleFly stats not be lowered, and it gives your weapons a chance to gain barrage. So that is another interesting build around we could theoretically do, which is Barrage lets you get a free attack at the start of combat, so that's really good with some of the slower weapons, like this, for example, which takes 5 seconds to shoot. Yep. And so yeah, I mean, I guess the question here is, we can build around one of these two, which is we can either build a barrage build or build an armor build around this new mod. And then if we don't take this one, we're picking which of these weapons we want to do here.
I probably lean towards the armor build out of what we've got there, and I sort of tend to look at the speed of the flak gun over the mining laser, at least to start off with.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty close in DPS, and this one just shoots a little bit faster. We're going to be having a lot of armor, and so we have some survivability, but yeah, I mean, these are pretty similar in effect. So you want to go with the flak gun here, see what we got?
Yeah, let's go with the flak gun.
All right, and that means we might want to look for things that give us some sort of kinetic boost. So we're always going to try upgrading, and we will add this to an empty slot. I gotta say, X, your greed is not paying off for you so far.
I know, what's going on?
All right, so we'll go ahead and equip that flak gun. So we now know that we're looking for armor, and I believe that we are going to go into here we go, in the armor pile here. And so I think I would recommend actually switch over to the armor hunter's mark and start scavenging to see if we can get one of those legendary armors, which will really help a tremendous amount on our utility being valuable.
That sounds like an excellent plan.
All right. So always a reminder that you're going to overwrite your previous mark. And we're going to go ahead and scavenge.
Okay.
So make sure every time you scavenge, you are finding the correct place to scavenge based on what you're looking for. Now, if you don't have a hunter's mark equipped, then you can just pick the one that you want. But if you have a hunter's mark, you always want to make sure it matches. So we can see here armor, evasion's in there as well. And we're going to go ahead and scavenge in the jungle fortress. I don't think I've scavenged in the jungle fortress yet on a BattleFly, so I'm kind of excited to see what we get here. Okay. We do keep getting a lot of these utility build arounds while we kind of already have one set up. But I don't think we're excited by anything here, right?
Not particularly.
Okay.
The big nukes.
Yep, so we got the nukes. One thing also, this is a new weapon. We have the flamethrower. This is another rad damage effect, so this is going to bypass your shields. But unlike the current rad damage weapons that don't have a base DPS, they do 0 damage. This one actually also does damage, and that damage also ignores shields. So it has a slightly less impactful radiation effect, but it also just does base damage. So something else to potentially pair with those other rad effects if you're going to go through your opponent's shields. All right, so we're re-rolling here.
Let's re-roll.
Okay, so we have the micro black hole turbine. This is one of the older mods. This is going to be one of those weapons that, as you mentioned, just kind of ignores your opponent's shields, just does direct damage to HP. I don't think that quite works with what we got going on here, because this flak gun is going to deal damage to shields.
Yes.
So I think we're just re-rolling here, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we see a shield. We're looking for armor. We see a shield, which is how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, our hunter's mark is leaning the wrong way.
Yeah, it hasn't really been blessing us. Usually the hunter's marks are a little more helpful. And we do also have another of the new mods here, the Photon Power Pack, which gives you a critical hit chance with energy weapon mods. And destroys armor. So this is actually good against us. Okay, so here's the question, X. How haphazard are we getting with... Are we continuing to roll, or are we taking an epic shield? I mean, it has no synergy with this, unfortunately.
No, it's completely opposite. So we're gonna have to roll. No matter
Okay.
what. we go.
We got another shield mod.
Oh, shields.
We do get a
Sure,
weapon
we're
this
in the right
time.
zone.
I hope so. I hope so. Uh, so we basically the best thing here is the scatter laser. Now the scatter laser is a good mod. This is a perfectly fine rare. I think it just comes down to me, either we take the scatter laser here, or we just see can we find something more synergistic in the next 2 packs here.
I mean, it's got reasonable DPS.
It has reasonable DPS. I mean, it's
Scatter
certainly a
laser.
huge improvement over our flat gun, and the scatter lasers are just a little more metagame in general. It's actually another one of those things that's good against us because it ignores your opponent's armor.
Yep.
But I mean, it is not super exciting. It is good. There's nothing wrong with this. I would be happy to run this on a fly, but it's not spicy by any means. Again, I'm leaving final greed decisions up to you. We have, let's see,
take the laser this time.
Take the laser. All right. So
Yeah,
we're
'cause
gonna.
you're gonna roll it up to legendary for me anyway.
That's true. I am going to do that for you. Oh, I'm sorry. I tried. I gave it my best try. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and keep this then, and we'll put this in an open slot. Okay. So let's go back to our BattleFly. See what we got going on here. So we've opened 3 packs, which means we do have 2 packs left to go. So we are going to be able to replace one of these items. Do we? I guess we probably want to keep scavenging for that armor, right? See if we can get some synergy here.
Yeah, we'll stay on the on that theme, on that build.
Cool.
I think.
I do think that this is actually overall. I mean, obviously, hitting the rarer ones is nicer, but I do think that the armor build is pretty good because people tend to run shields and weapons that are effective against shields. And armor is nice because it protects you no matter what. Even if your opponent tries to go through your shield, right? So against that flamethrower, your armor still protects you. So I think in this metagame it might be a good choice. Okay, let's keep scavenging for that armor. I'm making sure we are in the jungle fortress, confirming this is where we're going, and we will get in there. Now that it knows I'm watching, we might have some better luck. Okay. No armor. This is one of our new mods that is pretty exciting, and it was one of the tougher ones to balance. So
is it 82 or 8.2?
So it's 8.2 DPS, and I'll explain why. Is you look at this reload, it's 17 seconds, which is just awful, right? That's almost a whole battle. But after you attack for the first time, automatically attacks once per second after attacking. And this is another one of those building other types of things. So each legendary mod equipped decreases the damage by 20%. But essentially, this almost works like a nuke in that it takes 17 seconds to get going. But once you hit it, every single second for the rest of the game, you're going to deal 140 damage automatically. And so your first DPS is 8.2, but then your DPS goes up to 140 immediately. So this is sort of like a survivability sort of weapon. Can you get up to 17 seconds? Because if you do, then you're just going to blast your opponent for the rest of the game.
How long are the battles usually taking?
Yep. So the average battle is going to take about 15 to 20 seconds. And we see faster battles go down to between 10 and 12 against 2 builds. So this is one of the ones that was certainly tougher to balance in terms of if this reloads too low and it's too good, the battles get even shorter because they just end at exactly that time. But I'm going to be curious to see what sort of builds. Are there tanky enough, slow enough builds? Maybe really high evasion builds, stealth builds hide you for the first, I believe, 7 seconds of the game. So then you only need to last 10 seconds. If you don't shoot, you don't unstealth. So then you only need to survive for 10 seconds. So I think there's some interesting things to build around these.
Absolutely.
But we're still looking for armor.
Yeah, that's really interesting, but I don't think our armor is quite tanky enough just yet to commit to that one.
All right, so let's re-roll. Okay, so we do see one of our new armors here. this one, yeah, in a way, is actually potentially good with the mod we just saw. So this gives you 5 base armor, which is okay. It's about the base armor of a common, but for every 45 damage your armor blocks, you get cloaked for 3 seconds, which gives you plus 69% evasion. So this can definitely add to some survivability. With our mod, armor cannot be destroyed or ignored, and it adds 3x your total armor to your max HP. So it's not bad. We're probably looking for a higher number on this armor because we want to add as much to our HP as possible.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's dragging that one down.
Yep. I mean, it's not bad. You can see this uncommon over here only has 4, right? So it's not terrible, but it's not as good as something that has there are ones that have like 10, 12 up here.
Exactly. You come up against those and they just sit there no matter what you throw at them for a while.
Yep. So are we rerolling here, or are we just taking?
Let's reroll.
Reroll. So see, this one, we have another armor. This one's still only 4 because it gives you plus HP. So kind of works with our theme again in that it's a HP percentage. So it would add even more HP. So we'd have a pretty good HP. This would be very good against like those flamethrower builds or those radiation damage builds in general. It'd be pretty bad against like a nuke because we would just die. So are we still re-rolling here down to 3x? I haven't seen any legendaries, and I think only 1 epic. It's been rough.
I think we have to re-roll.
All right.
This is going to be a whole board of purple and yellow, and we won't be able to take them all now.
I mean, we can, I guess, theoretically. I mean, I'll go ahead and award us one of those if we see a whole board of them.
Oh, we're going backwards.
We are going backwards. I mean, we see another rare. We're consistently seeing rares, which is nice, but we don't really care about shields.
Yeah, exactly.
This is another one of those mods that's really good, by the way, with that 17-second reload, because this says add shields equal to 3x the reload of both weapons. So you would add 3 times 17 to your shields, and if that's just for 1. So if you had like 2 of those equipped, it would be 6 times 17 to your shields. So quite a bit more shields.
Some of the newer mods are working together in different ways than the original sets. That makes it quite interesting. There's a lot of different strategy you've got to think a little bit more about and how they actually work.
Yeah, they're definitely, one nice thing about having a base set is that we kind of get to explore what didn't we do in the base set, right? We didn't do a lot of things that really rewarded those sort of like slow builds other than stealth per se. We didn't do a lot of those things that, add on to like your base values, like your base shields, your base HP, based on some of the other stats like your armor or your reload speed. So you get to kind of feel what are the kind of more technical spots we didn't hit with the base set that we can start to explore. So I think this is a good example of one of them. And, it gives you 84 base shields, so it's not a slouch on its own.
But not what we want.
Not what we want.
Take this one down to the wire, I think.
Yeah, it seems like it. This is not looking good, X. It's not looking good. I feel like our greed is not being rewarded.
Just re-roll it already.
At this point, we have to re-roll, right? We're just clicking that button for the last time on this pack.
Let's go.
So, one nice thing about the reactive cloaking plates is that the base armor is actually the same across all rarities, and that's pretty good for us. And it just reduces that cloaking effect, which we don't care as much. So this on the rare was 45 damage your armor blocks. Now it's 55. But it still gives us 5 armor. So I think this is probably what we got to take here.
Looks like it. We do need some armor of some kind.
We do. Don't even hit the reroll. We're taking a common. That feels kind of bad, X. It feels kind of bad. All right, so let's go ahead and equip that. This is not a spicy one here, I gotta say. This is not a very powerful one, but we do have at least some synergy going on. We're at least making sure we play to these. So
like the old beaten up fly that staggers into the repair shop that turns around and beats everybody because they don't expect it.
I think so. I mean, I think that this will get you out of the proving grounds and hopefully through some pupil leagues. But all right, so we do get one more pack. My advice would be to actually keep looking for an armor mod, because we don't really care what weapons we get. Like, if we see a really good weapon, we'll take it, right? That's okay.
Yep.
But I think we're still looking for punchier armor here.
Sounds like a very good plan.
All right, back to the jungle, which again, now we've visited this far more times than I expected to. The jungle fortress down here at the end. All right, so we're gonna scavenge here. This is potentially
you did put the hunter's mark on, didn't you?
I did. It's on there. Nope, it's in there. Okay, so we do see an armor mod here. This is just strictly better than what we have, in that it has the same amount of armor, but it also gives us higher evasion and that bonus ability. It's still not super exciting, and we've been just going down to greed so far. So as usual, Alex, I'm going to leave it up to you how greedy we're going to be with our 5 rerolls left.
We've got a reroll because Ben's in the chat there complaining that he hasn't seen any gold yet. So
all right,
try and look after him.
I see. Sorry about that, Ben. We'll deliver one for you right here. All right, we'll summon all of the good fortune we haven't been getting so far, and not see anything above an uncommon.
Ammo barrack missiles.
Yeah, so this is another new one. It's good. It hits your HP and your shields at the same time. So it's a little slow, but I mean that's another sort of effect that we've added is we have things that deal shields, we have things that deal damage to HP. Why not both?
Yeah.
But we're re-rolling here, I believe.
On our last run, we gotta keep going.
Okay, we see another new weapon. It's not quite powerful enough, I don't think, to take, given that we're still looking for armor. But this is sort of a sniper. It shoots, nice and consistently. And if you break your opponent's shields, it'll stun them. But not what we want.
Nope. Let's roll again.
Okay. Well, I mean, this overall spread looks a little bit better than what we've been seeing in terms of rarities. So now the question here, this armor is again not much better for us than what we currently have. We saw this one before and passed on it.
Yep.
Are we just rolling down to the dirt here, or do you want to take this hunter missiles? What are you thinking?
20.9 second, sort of medium paced.
Yep.
What's the first weapon?
The first weapon is pretty awful here. You got a flak gun too. This is definitely better than that. It completely ignores evasion, which is nice. But evasion is not a huge strategy. There is a little bit more evasion going on, but really you're just playing this as a critical hit sort of combo normally.
We really want to just get lucky and get that armor fixed up, don't we?
That's what I think we want. Now, whether we'll get it or not is up for debate, but that is what we want.
Let's give it a go. Roll again, dealer.
Rolling again.
Oh.
This ain't it. Not a single armor out here.
There's no armor there.
There is no armor there. Are we... I guess we're just clicking it one more time?
Last roll. Not a single gold in the whole...
Not a single gold.
In the whole setup.
Well, alright, I'll tell you what we're going to do.
These weapons are better.
We're going to... I mean, I certainly think that the railgun is probably better than the flak gun just in terms of raw DPS. It's definitely a lot slower, but we also have the option of the photon rifle here. You know what? The photon rifle, this is, I think, where we want to... This one does +2 burst per rare mod equipped, and we're definitely going to have a rare mod equipped if we replace our flak gun, which actually... So the burst right now is 7, which means that this burst will go up to 9. So right now it's 21 DPS because it's 12 times 7 divided by 4. But it would actually be 12 times 9 divided by 4, which is going to bring this DPS up to over the railgun if we keep this rare here. So I would say that the photon rifle is the better choice here.
Especially when you upgrade it and we go up 2 levels.
Especially when you upgrade it and you go up 2 levels. We haven't hit a single upgrade. We haven't hit a single legendary. All right. Here's what we're going to do, X. We're going to keep this. We're going to replace probably one of our core mods down here. Yeah. We have been known in the past to put in a 6th mod pack if we feel so inclined. And to me, this feels like a 6th mod pack kind of build. Because if this was my fly, I would be a little miffed at the fortune that we've had here. So what do you say? You got another few minutes here, and we'll do what's a pity pack. We'll do 1 pity pack. Does that sound good to you, X?
Sounds great.
All right. So I think we're still probably looking for that armor, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if a extraordinary weapon comes along, then maybe.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
We do really want to get that grey off the screen, don't we?
Yeah, we do. And you know what? We also have another build around me here. Since we have this photon pulse rifle, we can now take a rare armor and feel pretty good about it because it's going to give us another boost to our attack. So that's another thing to make sure, a new build around kind of thought is your weapons. Now, normally you go equipment first, like your utility and your defense, and then slot your weapons in around. But now some of the weapons have these build around mechanics based on things like rarity or damage directly to HP and shields at the same time sort of thing. So I think we're going to go ahead and scavenge and maybe even take a rare. Maybe not be so greedy if we see a rare this time.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Now we've got a reason to.
Yes, exactly. Now we don't have a reason to get greedy and find those legendaries. Not that we'll decline the legendaries. Well, this would be a rare mod. It's certainly just better than what we have now. Same armor, gives us that boost in attack, and realistically, this ability is probably not going to trigger maybe more than once in a battle. This is just good against any sort of critical hits from these types of weapons to reduce the damage. So this is better. Now, X.
No, I don't like it. Carry on.
It's up to you. Again, we can be greedy. We probably will see more rares. But how much do we want to try and fulfill Ben's dream in the chat of finding a legendary with 5 packs remaining, or do we want to make unmutes just for the greed? I love it. Well, it is X's final decision here. This BattleFly does go to X at the end of this event, so you have Ben's vote on the greed. X, what are you thinking?
Oh, I'm absolutely for the greed on this one.
For the greed, okay.
It's just boring-looking green armor. So
it is. It kind of, this one always kind of looks like a Hershey's bar to me or something in my mind. It makes me a little hungry. All right, let's go. Okay, well, we're gonna keep rolling on this.
Yep, we are.
It's the worst version. Let's keep going. This one doesn't count. This one doesn't count. Let's keep going.
And if you got anyone nearby that can check the RNG.
Today's RNG has been savage for us. I've done BattleFlies with 5 packs and seeing 3 or 4 legendaries, and we've seen just 0. Whew. Oh well, we have this already, so we are going backwards. I'm just gonna click this button again.
I think so.
X, my friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're in trouble. We have one.
Very, very much so.
We have one last roll to redeem ourselves.
Go on, do it.
All right, there we go. This is workable. We can work with this. There you go. You were correct, Ben. The greed did work. We had to go down to literally the very last possible moment, but we did get there.
Get out stakes comes through.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and upgrade this rarity. Let's see if we hit this. We do not. So I'm going. That would have been too much. So we're gonna keep this, and obviously, we'll go ahead and overwrite this core mod. But before we leave away, I'm just going to put a little bit of sort of strategy here. We have this Micro Rocket Pods 4. Now, if you wanted this, it's not super synergistic with our build, but it could be something to replace this if we wanted. If this was legendary, though, we'd definitely take it. So when I'm in a situation where I'm done with the pack, you can still click on this, and you still see we have this upgrade rarity option. And so we can try for an upgrade roll on this, which I'm going to do. We didn't get it. But if that hit up to legendary, it would probably be worth spending the extra magic to take it. Right. We didn't hit it, so we won't. But
go down to the blaster that we've got. Pulse. On pulse, sorry. It has that increase per rare mod. Is it per rare and above, or just rares?
Per rare specifically, and I can tell you the actual DPS on this one. So this is going to be 12 times 9 divided by 4. So the DPS on this is 27 right now with the one rare that we have equipped.
Would it not be worth taking the rocket pods anyway?
I mean, it's kind of like opening another pack, but it was. So actually, though, we'd have to replace this, because if we replace the scatter laser, we wouldn't get that. Actually, are you feeling like you want these rocket pods? You want me to grab them for you?
Oh, I'm just asking your opinion. It's going to be a higher DPS than the other one.
Yeah, so again, I think this just comes down to, for me, how much you want to spend, right? If we had a very hard limit of I'm opening 6 packs, maybe I had 6 credits.
Paying again.
Exactly. So yep. So if we click keep me, when we actually add this, it will give us a prompt that lets us know that we're going to spend another credit. So now we can spend a credit here. I do have credits, but it is something to keep in mind that you get one mod from the pack. Additional ones you are going to need to spend either another credit or magic for it. But you know what, X? We had such bad luck today that we're going to go ahead and grab that one as well. Get back to that BattleFly. Let's change our loadout. Swap this. Apply it. Oop, that is not the right button. Swap this and apply it. Here we go. There we go. Cool. And then we need to apply our new armor. Man, this was rough. Not a single legendary surface, not a single reroll hit out of, I think, 7 attempts on rerolls. That's pretty brutal. But we do end up with we did hit one of our goals, X, which was to build a new around a new mod, and we did do that with adding 3 extra troll armor. So 3 extra troll armor.
Got a decent armor on it as well.
Yep. So this is going to add 3 extra troll armor to your HP. We have 8 total armor, and that means it's going to add 24 extra HP, a nice little HP boost. And we also, that armor cannot be destroyed or ignored, and there are a bunch of new mods in Lost Silo that destroy and ignore armor. So it is actually pretty good against some of those effects, like the radiation damage effects. There are some specific weapons that just directly attack armor in the energy category. So you can see here we have one. Ignores 50% of opponent's armor. This text doesn't exist if you're playing against us, because our armor cannot be ignored.
Excellent. That sounds quite useful.
All right, so this is what we got here. We got kind of a mishmash, but a build around on the armor, and a few weapons. And I think that we'd probably be looking to.
It's not a mishmash. It's ingenuity with limited resources.
It was definitely limited resources. We certainly had to work to get this to come together at all. So definitely one of the more challenging BattleFlies we've done. But I think we got there, and this is definitely the kind of thing that will take you up into the Monarch or Predator range. You'll breeze right through the Proving Grounds and Pupa stages with this. So cool. All right. Thank you, X, for having me on, and for showing me what greed looks like when rolling into these packs.